Let me ask you something. How many times have you sat at your desk, scrolling through your phone, complaining about your boss? Yeah, the guy who never listens, the manager who's impossible, or the company that doesn't appreciate you. We all do it. It feels good, right? Blaming someone else makes us feel justified. But here's the brutal truth. Blaming your boss is the easiest thing you can do, and it's the biggest trap holding you back. If you want freedom, real freedom, it's time to stop pointing fingers. Your boss isn't your problem. Your mindset is, your actions are, your choices are. Imagine this, what if you stopped wasting energy blaming your boss and started building your own path? What if instead of whining about what's wrong, you focused on what you can control, your skills, your time, your hustle? That's how you break free. That's how you build a life where you call the shots. But let me be clear, this isn't easy. Freedom isn't handed to you. It's earned through relentless focus and action. And it starts with this shift: stop blaming, start building. Now, here are 6 key points that will get you out of the victim mindset and on the fast track to your freedom. Own your story. This phrase sounds simple, but it carries a weight that many never fully understand until it hits them like a ton of bricks. Owning your story means accepting every single piece of your life, the good, the bad, the mistakes, the wins, and everything in between, and refusing to let anyone else write the narrative for you. It's the moment you stop handing over the pen to others, especially the boss, your coworkers, or the circumstances you've found yourself in. Imagine this every day. Millions of people wake up and immediately start blaming someone else for their problems. My boss doesn't care about me. The company never gives me a chance. I don't have the right opportunities. These are the stories they tell themselves, the stories they live by. But here's the brutal truth. None of that matters if you don't own your part in it. Think about a young guy I knew, let's call him Jason. Jason was stuck in a dead-end job, every day dragging himself to work, griping about his boss who never seemed to appreciate him. He told himself, if only my boss recognized my worth, I'd be happier, I'd make more money, I'd have freedom. But one day, after another miserable shift, something snapped in him. He looked in the mirror and realized the problem wasn't his boss. It was Jason. He hadn't put in the effort to learn new skills, to network, or to even try a different path. He was waiting for someone else to fix his life. That was his moment. He decided to own his story. He stopped blaming, started acting. He took online courses, reached out to mentors, and slowly began building his own future outside the cubicle. Owning your story means accepting that right now, this moment, you're exactly where your choices have brought you. It's not an insult, it's a fact. And once you accept it, you gain the power to change it. Owning your story is like standing in front of a huge canvas. You've been handed a brush your entire life, but you kept blaming the artist who gave it to you, saying they painted the wrong picture for you. The truth is, nobody is painting your picture but you. Maybe you made some strokes that don't look great. Maybe some areas are messy. But guess what? Only you have the power to repaint, to add new colors, to create something amazing out of it. This is your life, your choices, your story. Stop giving that power away. We all have moments in life where things go wrong, losing a job, failing a project, getting rejected. These moments feel heavy, and it's natural to want to blame someone or something outside ourselves. But here's the key: every time you point the finger outward, you lose the chance to point it inward and find the power to fix it. Owning your story means saying, this happened, but I'm not a victim. I'm a warrior. I control what happens next. It's the mindset that turns setbacks into comebacks. Think about athletes you admire. They don't blame the referee or the bad luck when things go south. They own their mistakes, train harder, and come back stronger. The same principle applies to your life. If you keep blaming your boss or your circumstances, you give away your power. If you own your story, you grab that power back and use it to write the next chapter. Owning your story also means being honest with yourself about where you are and where you want to go. No sugarcoating, no excuses. It means looking at your habits, your daily routines, and asking, am I moving closer to freedom or further away? Owning your story requires courage. The courage to face uncomfortable truths about yourself and your life. But that courage is the gateway to freedom because it means you're ready to stop being a passive actor in your life and become the lead. When you own your story, you stop living in the shadows of your boss's decisions or the company's rules. You start living in the light of your own choices and actions. You build a foundation for freedom that no one can take away. Owning your story means you're done waiting for someone else's approval or permission. You're done blaming others for your lack of progress. Instead, you're ready to take responsibility and step into the driver's seat of your life. It's not about blaming yourself either. It's about understanding that no one else is going to live your life for you. The past is written, mistakes were made, opportunities missed, but that doesn't define you unless you let it. Owning your story is about taking control now, rewriting the narrative from this point forward with intention, focus, and fire. It's about waking up every day knowing you have the power to make decisions that lead you closer to the freedom you crave. So next time you find yourself blaming your boss or anyone else, pause and ask, what part of my story am I refusing to own? What can I do right now to change the narrative? Because freedom doesn't come from blaming others. It comes from owning your story, no matter how messy or complicated it is, and then building the life you want from there. Building skills that money pays for is one of the most powerful moves you can make if you want to break free from the cycle of blaming others and take control of your own life. Skills are currency, not the kind you find in your wallet, but the kind you carry with you wherever you go, the kind that opens doors no matter who's standing in front of you. Think about it, your boss, your company, your industry. They might change, but the skills you master become your personal power, your ticket to freedom. When you build skills that the world values, you stop being dependent on someone else's decisions. You become the one calling the shots. Imagine a guy named Mike. Mike worked in a factory job that barely paid the bills. Every day, he complained about how his boss was unfair, how the company didn't care about him, how he was stuck. But one day, Mike realized he was spending more time complaining than learning. He made a choice. He would learn a skill that pays. He picked coding because it interested him and because he knew companies always need good coders. Every evening after work, Mike poured hours into online tutorials, practice projects, and building real software. He didn't wait for permission or approval. He just showed up for himself. After a year, Mike's skills got so good, he started freelancing on the side. He made more money from his side gigs than his full-time job. Then he built a network, got better projects, and finally had the confidence to quit his job. Mike didn't blame his boss anymore. He built a skill that paid him and gave him options. This is the kind of power skill building gives you. Skills that money pays for aren't about random hobbies or passing interests. They're strategic. They're the kind that solve problems people and businesses face every day. Skills like sales, marketing, coding, graphic design, writing, negotiation, project management. These are tools that put you in demand. When you have a skill that makes others' lives easier or more profitable, you become indispensable, or better yet, independent. One of the biggest traps people fall into is thinking, I'm not talented enough, or it's too late for me to learn. Forget that noise. The truth is, every expert was once a beginner. Every millionaire started with 0 skills and 0 connections. The difference is they chose to build what matters. If you're watching this, you already have everything you need to start building skills that pay. Your time, your focus, and your grit. Think about your favorite professionals, the ones who seem unstoppable. Do you think they got there by luck? No, they worked their asses off, sometimes while holding down other jobs or responsibilities, learning and grinding until they could cash in on their skills. And so can you. Another example is Sarah. Sarah was stuck in retail, living paycheck to paycheck, feeling invisible. One day, she decided to learn digital marketing. She watched free videos, took cheap courses, and practiced by helping local businesses with their social media. It wasn't glamorous or easy, but she kept going. Within 2 years, Sarah landed a job at a marketing agency that paid triple her retail salary. Her freedom started with that skill. Building skills that pay is about shifting your mindset from what can I get to what companies pay for skills that solve problems and generate revenue. If you can offer value, money follows. It's a simple but powerful truth. The world doesn't owe you a paycheck, it pays you for what you can do. This also means you have to be intentional about what skills you build. Not every skill has the same value in the market. Learn how to spot high-value skills by researching job postings, talking to people in your industry, or even trying out different things until you find what sticks. Once you find that, commit to mastering it. Skills that pay for themselves are also portable. Whether you work for a boss, freelance, or build your own business, they travel with you. They're your shield against uncertainty. If a company folds or a boss changes, your skills remain. That's real freedom. Finally, Building these skills requires sacrifice. You will have to give up time spent on distractions, excuses, and complaints. You'll have to embrace discomfort and discipline. But here's the secret. The discomfort of growth is way better than the pain of being stuck. Every hour you invest in building a skill pays dividends in confidence, opportunity, and independence. You don't need to wait for anyone's approval or a perfect moment to start building your skills. Start with what you have. Start now. Find what the market values, put in the work, and watch as your freedom expands with every skill you master. The path to freedom is paved with the skills you choose to build, not the blame you choose to carry. Controlling your time is one of the most underrated but powerful skills you can develop if you want to break free from feeling stuck and blaming others for your life. Time is the one thing no one can get more of, no matter how rich, famous, or powerful they become. And yet, most people give their time away like it's worthless, handing it over to distractions, endless meetings, toxic relationships, or simply drifting without a plan. But here's the truth, nobody tells your freedom is directly tied how you control your time. If you don't own your hours, your days, and your weeks, someone else will. Your boss, your company, your obligations. They will eat your time and leave you with scraps of it, leaving you feeling powerless and frustrated. Imagine this: a woman named Lisa worked in a demanding job where her boss constantly piled on more work, more meetings, more urgent requests. She felt overwhelmed, like she was drowning, and often complained, "I don't have time for anything." But one day, Lisa realized the problem wasn't the boss or the workload. It was how she managed her time. She was reacting to every notification, every email, and every distraction. She never planned her day or set boundaries. So Lisa started experimenting. She blocked off focused work periods, turned off notifications, and said no to unnecessary meetings. She scheduled time for breaks and personal growth. Slowly, Lisa reclaimed control. Instead of reacting to every demand, she prioritized what mattered and let go of what didn't. Her stress dropped, productivity soared, and she finally felt like she had time for herself again. Controlling your time means deciding what deserves your attention and what doesn't. It means setting boundaries so your work doesn't spill into your personal life and drain your energy. It means being ruthless about your priorities and saying no to anything that doesn't move you toward your goals. It's not about working harder. It's about working smarter and protecting the most valuable resource you have. Think about people who seem to have it all together. They aren't working 24/7. They've mastered the art of time control. They schedule their days intentionally. They guard their focus like it's gold. That's why they make progress while others stay stuck spinning their wheels. The same hours exist for all of us. It's what we do with those hours that creates the difference. There's a story of a man named David who wanted to start his own business. He worked a full-time job but knew if he didn't control his time, he'd never launch. So he got up an hour earlier every day before work to work on his business. He planned his weekends with clear goals, avoided time-wasting activities, and tracked every minute. Months later, David's side hustle was thriving, and he was ready to quit his job. What made the difference? David controlled his time. He didn't wait for perfect conditions or extra hours magically appearing. He took what he had and made it work. Controlling your time also means mastering focus. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Social media, news, endless apps designed to steal your attention. Every time you give in to distraction, you lose precious minutes that never come back. Learn to recognize these time thieves and set strict limits on them. Schedule blocks of deep work where your phone is off and your mind is locked in. That focused time is where real progress happens. Another powerful truth is that time control is deeply connected to self-discipline. It's easy to blame others when you feel overwhelmed or behind, but taking charge of your time requires you to be honest with yourself about how you spend it. Are you scrolling for hours, binge watching shows every night, avoiding hard work? These habits steal your future freedom. The good news is, every small change in how you manage your time compounds. 15 minutes of focused work a day adds up to dozens of hours in a year, hours you can use to build skills, start projects, or rest and recharge. Remember, controlling your time doesn't mean being rigid or robotic. It means being intentional with how you spend your minutes. It means creating space for what matters most to you. Whether that's family, learning, creating, or resting, it means choosing how your life unfolds instead of letting circumstances decide for you. So when you feel trapped or like you don't have time, ask yourself, What am I giving my time to? Am I owning my hours or giving them away? Controlling your time is not just about productivity, it's about freedom. The moment you decide to guard your time fiercely, to plan your day with purpose, and to say no to what drains you, you start building the life you want. A life where you call the shots, where your boss doesn't own your hours, and where freedom isn't just a dream, but your reality. Starting small and starting now is the secret weapon most people overlook when chasing freedom. We want big changes, overnight success, massive breakthroughs. But the truth is that real change happens in tiny steps taken consistently. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment or having all the resources lined up. It's about what you do with what you have right now. Picture a huge mountain. Climbing it seems impossible if you only focus on the peak. But if you just put one foot in front of the other, step by step, eventually you'll get there. That's exactly how freedom is built. Take the story of Emily. She was stuck in a job she hated, blaming her boss and the company for her misery. One day, she realized that waiting for a miracle wasn't going to solve anything. She decided to start small. She dedicated just 10 minutes a day after work to learning something new related to a skill she wanted to master. 10 minutes might sound tiny, but those 10 minutes became her sanctuary of hope and growth. After a few weeks, she increased it to 20 minutes, then 30. Those small pockets of time added up, and within months, Emily had a solid foundation that allowed her to freelance on the side. Eventually, she replaced her full-time income. None of this happened because she had a big plan from day one. It happened because she started small and started now. The biggest enemy to starting small is perfectionism and fear. Many people think, if I can't do it perfectly, it's not worth doing at all. They wait until conditions are perfect, until they have more time, more money, or more knowledge. That's the lie that keeps them stuck. In reality, taking imperfect action beats perfect inaction every time. Starting small means embracing the fact that you're learning, failing, and growing as you go. It means accepting that your first step might be messy, but it's a step forward. Think about planting a tree. You don't plant a full-grown tree. You plant a tiny seed. That seed might not look like much, but with daily care, water, and sunlight, it grows roots underground unseen. After months or years, it becomes a mighty tree, providing shade and fruit. Your journey to freedom is exactly like that seed. Small, consistent actions that nobody sees at first, but which create unstoppable momentum over time. Another powerful example is James, who wanted to become financially independent but had no idea where to start. He was overwhelmed by the complexity of investing, entrepreneurship, and side hustles. Instead of trying to master everything at once, James committed to starting small. He opened a savings account, set aside $5 a week, and spent 10 minutes a day learning about money management. That small habit turned into a savings habit, then into investing, then into launching a side business. James's story shows that you don't need to start big. You need to start now and be consistent. Starting small also means embracing the power of compounding effort. A small action today might seem insignificant, but repeated day after day, it creates results that compound and explode beyond your imagination. Just like money grows with interest over time, your habits, skills, and momentum grow with consistent small actions. The key is not to quit, to keep showing up, no matter how small the step seems. The hardest part about starting small is actually starting. We overthink, we doubt, we procrastinate. The way to break this cycle is to focus on what you can do right now, in this minute, this hour, this day. Ask yourself, what's one small thing I can do today that gets me closer to my freedom? It could be sending one email, reading one article, practicing one skill, or simply writing down a plan. Whatever it is, start there, then do it again tomorrow. Starting small isn't a weakness. It's a superpower. It's the proof that you don't need permission or perfect conditions to change your life. Every giant success story you admire started with a small first step. The only difference between those who succeed and those who don't is that the successful ones started small and started now, no matter what. So if you're waiting for a sign, this is it. Start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. Small, consistent steps will move you from feeling stuck and blaming others to owning your future and building the freedom you deserve. Every journey begins with one small step, and yours starts right now. Stop chasing permission. This is one of the most powerful shifts you can make if you want to take control of your life and stop feeling stuck under someone else's rules. Too many people wait for a green light, a nod of approval, or some sign from their boss, their company, or the world before they make a move. They ask, is it okay if I do this? Or will they allow me to try? The harsh reality is that permission rarely comes. The people who succeed are the ones who stop waiting for it and start acting anyway. Think about the countless stories of people who change their lives by just saying, "I don't care if it's allowed, I'm doing it." Take Maya, for example. She worked a 9-to-5 job that drained her spirit. She dreamed of starting her own business, but felt trapped because she didn't have her boss's blessing or a business degree. She kept asking herself, should I wait until I'm more prepared? Should I wait until my boss signs off on my side hustle? And guess what? That waiting cost her years of her life. One day, Maya hit a breaking point and said, enough. She started small, using nights and weekends without telling anyone. She didn't ask for permission because she realized she didn't need it. She took control, made mistakes, learned, and grew her business until she could finally quit her job and live life on her own terms. This story teaches us that chasing permission is a form of procrastination dressed up as respect. It's a fear-based mindset that puts your power in someone else's hands. When you constantly wait for permission, you delay your own growth, you give away your ability to choose and act. The world isn't going to hand you freedom on a silver platter. It's waiting for you to take it. Permission is a myth that keeps you stuck in a cycle of dependency. You don't need permission to start learning a new skill, to build a side hustle, or to say no to toxic demands. You don't need someone else's approval to decide you want more from life. If you wait for permission to live fully, you might wait forever. The truth is, the best time to act is right now. The best permission you can get is from yourself. The permission to try, to fail, to grow, and to become. Think about people who made a difference. Entrepreneurs, artists, leaders. Do you think they waited for permission? No. They acted in the face of uncertainty and risk. They carved their own path, often against the rules and expectations of others. Their success didn't come from waiting, it came from bold action. Every time you hesitate because you're waiting for a signal from your boss or society, you're slowing down your own journey. It's important to realize that permission doesn't equal guarantee. You might face rejection, criticism, or failure when you act without asking for approval. But these are the growing pains of freedom. Each no you face or obstacle you overcome makes you stronger and more independent. The people who succeed aren't those who avoid failure. They're the ones who stop chasing permission and start owning their choices. This doesn't mean reckless action. It means intentional, courageous action. It means trusting yourself enough to say, I don't need anyone else's permission to live my life the way I want. It means creating your own rules and boundaries instead of waiting for others to set them for you. It means understanding that freedom is an inside job and waiting for permission is just giving away your power. Every moment you spend wondering if you have permission to do something, ask yourself, what would happen if I just did it anyway? What if I stopped asking for approval and started creating? The answer is often more growth, more confidence, and more control over your life. The permission you really need is your own. Once you give it to yourself, doors open, opportunities multiply, and your freedom expands beyond what you imagined possible. Mindset over everything. This is not just a phrase, it's the foundation on which your entire freedom is built. Your mindset is the lens through which you see the world, your beliefs about what's possible, and the force that either drives you forward or holds you back. You can have the best skills, the right opportunities, and a clear plan, but if your mindset is stuck in fear, doubt, or victimhood, none of it will matter. Freedom begins in your mind long before it shows up in your reality. Think about how many times people blame their boss, their job, or the economy for their problems. They say things like, I can't get ahead because my boss is unfair, or the system is rigged against me. And yes, there are real challenges out there, but the difference between those who stay stuck and those who break free is mindset. Mindset is the inner voice that says, I can figure this out, or this is temporary, or what can I learn here? It's the belief that no matter what happens, you control your response. It's the refusal to be a victim. Consider the story of Jonah. He worked for years in a job he hated, constantly complaining about how unfair his boss was and how the company didn't value him. His mindset was fixed on blame and helplessness. One day, a friend challenged him, you can't control your boss, but you can control your attitude and actions. Start there. Jonah didn't like it at first, but he decided to try. He shifted his mindset from, why me? to, What can I do? Instead of focusing on what was wrong, he focused on what he could improve. He started learning new skills, managing his emotions better, and planning his exit strategy. That mindset shift changed everything. It gave him clarity, energy, and purpose. Within a year, Jonah had built enough side income to quit his job and design a life on his terms. Mindset over everything means you have to take responsibility for your thoughts. Negative self-talk, limiting beliefs, and fear are the biggest thieves of freedom. They convince you that you're not good enough, that you don't deserve more, or that change is impossible. But those thoughts are lies. The truth is, you are capable of far more than you think. Your brain is like a muscle. The more you train it with positive, empowering beliefs, the stronger it becomes. Every time you choose to believe in yourself despite setbacks, you're rewiring your mind for success. Imagine mindset as the soil in which your goals grow. No matter how good your seeds, skills, ideas, plans are, if the soil is poor and toxic with doubt or fear, nothing healthy will grow. But if you nurture your mindset with confidence, resilience, and curiosity, your efforts will flourish. This is why people who have nothing but the right mindset can create opportunities where others see walls. A daily habit that changes everything is practicing gratitude and positive affirmations. Sounds simple, but this rewires your brain to focus on what's working, what's possible, instead of what's wrong. It builds momentum and shifts your energy from victim to creator. It also prepares you to handle failures not as dead ends, but as lessons. Mindset over everything means embracing failure as a necessary part of growth, not a sign to quit. Another powerful example is Lisa. She grew up believing she was stuck in a cycle of low-paying jobs because that's just how life is for people like me. But when she started studying mindset, she realized those beliefs were just stories she told herself. Lisa began practicing daily visualization, affirmations, and surrounding herself with people who believed in growth. Slowly, her mindset shifted from scarcity to abundance. She took bold actions, started a side business, and eventually created multiple income streams. Lisa's story shows that mindset isn't just about thinking positive, it's about rewiring your entire belief system to align with the freedom you want. Mindset also controls how you deal with stress and setbacks. When your mindset is strong, challenges don't crush you. They refine you. They teach you resilience and grit. This mental toughness is the secret weapon of everyone who has ever broken free from a toxic job or situation. Mindset over everything means you don't wait for circumstances to be perfect. You learn to adapt, overcome, and keep moving forward no matter what. Think about what you tell yourself when things go wrong. Do you say, "I can't do this"? Or, "This is too hard"? Or do you say, "This is tough, but I'm tougher"? That internal dialogue shapes your reality. Your brain doesn't know the difference between what you tell it and what's real. Feed it empowering stories, and you'll attract empowering results. Ultimately, mindset over everything means owning your story. Not the story others tell about you, or the story you've told yourself for years, but the story you decide to live by from today forward. It means choosing to see challenges as opportunities, failures as lessons, and your potential as limitless. Freedom isn't a place, it's a mindset. Once you master your mind, you master your life. As we come to the close of this conversation, remember this: freedom is not something that falls into your lap. It's something you build with your own hands, your own mind, and your own courage. Every moment you spend blaming your boss or your circumstances, you give away your power. But the moment you decide to own your story, control your time, stop chasing permission, and cultivate a mindset built on growth, that moment is the moment you start creating the life you deserve. The best way to predict the future is to create it. This isn't just a quote, it's a call to action. Your future doesn't wait for you to be ready, it responds to what you do today. You've heard the stories of those who started small, who refused to wait for perfect conditions, who acted despite fear, who chose mindset over excuses. Now it's your turn. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. The power to break free from blame and build freedom lives inside you. No one can give it to you. No one can take it away unless you let them. So stop waiting for permission, stop blaming others, and start taking charge of your time, your thoughts, and your actions. Life will never be perfect. Obstacles will come, bosses will still demand, systems may seem unfair. But what lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. Your true strength, your resilience, and your freedom come from within. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to prove to yourself that you are stronger than your circumstances. Remember, success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. It's not about never falling down. It's about getting up every single time. Your freedom is built one decision at a time, one step at a time. The daily choices you make, to take responsibility, to control your time, to start now, to shift your mindset. These are the bricks that will build your empire of freedom. So, if you walk away with only one truth today, let it be this: your boss does not own your life. Your circumstances do not define your destiny. Only you do. Don't watch the clock. Do what it does. Keep going. Keep moving forward, even when it's hard, even when you feel stuck, because freedom isn't given. It's earned through relentless action and unwavering belief in yourself. Your journey won't be easy, but nothing worth having ever is. The only limit to our realization of tomorrow will be our doubts of today. Cast those doubts aside and embrace your power. Your freedom is waiting on the other side of your courage. Take that step, make that choice, and watch as your life transforms. The road to freedom is yours to walk. Start now, own your path, and never look back.